So, special event elections in Pennsylvania this week. Democrats won a seat that had been long held by Republicans. Next week, there's two House races in Florida in heavily red districts. Republicans favored to win, but people are watching the margins. And then, of course, there's this very widely contested, spirited and contested election in Wisconsin to determine control of the Supreme Court there, the most expensive judicial election in American history already, with Musk and everybody else putting money in there. Special elections. If you lose them, you say our candidate was horrible, no national message. If you win them, you say the tides are going our way. It should be a good time for Democrats because it's a new Republican administration, and that's typically the way it works. So, Dan, what are you watching for in these, and do you think that there's will be meaning in the results? Karl Rove, in his column this morning about this, he's a very smart guy, Karl Rove, basically said, could go either way. Some meaning, maybe not. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I'm going to look for trends across all of these. What is Democratic turnout? Turnout's usually pretty low in specials. Or do Democrats overperform? Where do independents go? Historically, when one party controls Congress, independents kind of don't like it. They tend to get a little frustrated. They see the other party as arrogant. I think what we just talked about might play into that. So I'm just going to be looking for trends across all of them, because they're different, Florida, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, those are not insignificant areas.
Yeah, look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. When I ran incumbent retention at the NRCC, I used to say special elections are special for a reason. What I mean by that is I don't read too much into them, but yeah, you definitely need to look for, as Dan said, for trends, for small things. The Pennsylvania race is in particular concerning, right? That was a 150 plus year GOP held seat, plus 33 district. There's a lot of finger pointing at the candidate and the consultant's cold spark for how poorly this thing to blow that big of a lead. And by the way, that firm is doing work in Virginia, which as a Virginian concerns me as well. There are things that matter. One, trends. Two, candidates, and three, mechanics. So in the Pennsylvania race, there's a lot of concern about the consultant and the candidate. But to blow a race that big means that there's something more mechanically wrong. You look at the Wisconsin race, Democrats should hold this. If Republicans were to pick it up, that's huge for Republicans. In Florida, the first and the sixth, Jimmy Petronis is running strong in the first. That's the Matt Gaetz former seat, the Joe Scarborough seat. He should win that. Jimmy's a strong statewide former candidate, raising money, just really good retail politician. Randy Fine, a senator in the sixth, which is the Waltz seat, ironically, is not raising money, is getting a lot of his Democratic opponent is doing a tremendous job of raising money. There is a lot of alarm bells going off in D.C. because if we were to lose that seat, it really is a problem. I think even if we come within 3 or 4, the last poll had it at 3, I don't know. But like you're seeing a lot of money that should not have to get spent on that seat being spent. That is a problem. And I will say this, the one biggest problem, as I said, special elections are special. That doesn't mean you put your head in the sand either way. And Republicans need to wake up and understand that mechanics matter. Candidates matter. If they're not raising money, if they don't have a message, don't run them.
Yeah. Republicans are definitely worried about that seat. I've heard unsolicited from lots of people this week.